Okay, we've got breaking news coming in. The Army and the Air Force will be holding a joint press briefing at 5 p.m. today. It's the first time that the Air Force and the Army will be speaking out since the Balakot airstrikes, as well as yesterday's confrontation between the Indian Air Force and the Pakistan Air Force. 5 p.m. is that media press conference. I want to go across to Defence Editor Abhishek Bhalla for more on this. Abhishek, finally, the Army and the Air Force have realized that they need to speak. So they're going to be holding this press conference at 5.
Certainly a shift in setting the narrative, Shiv, because till now it was the diplomacy that was commenting on Indo-Pak developments, but now for the first time today we'll have the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force coming together, holding a joint press conference amid escalations as we speak. Ceasefire violations continue at the LOC. There are also unconfirmed reports of an airspace violation. So as far as military issues are concerned, they are being escalated, and later this evening we can expect officers from military operations who are likely to be present in this press briefing to give details of what has been happening, how India has responded to Pakistani escalation of violence. Remember, there was an airstrike by the Indian Air Force 2 days back. Pakistan retaliated yesterday, and in between there have been continued skirmishes all along the line of control, not just in one sector but across the LC. Has seen a lot of violence in the last 3 to 4 days. We'll wait and watch what the military establishment now has to say. A lot of meetings have been going on. The Prime Minister has been briefed on the condition on the ground. Also, what is very, very significant that has been discussed is Indian Air Force pilot who's still in Pakistan captivity, how he is being treated by the Pakistani. So a lot of inputs are going to come in soon. We'll wait and watch.
Okay, also, in your conversations so far, with the Air Force and the Army, Abhishek, because they haven't been speaking officially, what is the general mood? What have they been saying about the Air Force pilot and what happened yesterday?
The air assaults that Pakistan tried yesterday, which was foiled by the Indian Air Force, hasn't gone down too well, Shiv, because what I've learnt is that the Pakistani jets actually did come in quite deep into Indian territory, and they were engaged quickly by the Indian Air Force. And in fact, the 6 MiG-21s that were engaged in a combat managed to chase them out, and it was one of those MiG-21s that was successful in bringing down an F-16, which has been a huge embarrassment for Pakistan. A MiG-21 which is at its phase out stage, bring down an F-16 which is far more superior. That has hurt Pakistan, and the Indian Air Force has also released pictures of the wreckage of the F-16 that is being inspected by an army officer from Pakistan. This has been released. It calls out the bluff of the Pakistani army, which was maintaining that it was 2 Indian aircraft that were brought down and not one.
Okay, so there is finally going to be some clarity. Hopefully the Indian Air Force and the Army will provide specifics and take questions, unlike the External Affairs Ministry, which has only been releasing these terse statements in these briefings and then taking no questions at all. Do we know up ahead right now, Abhishek, if the Army and the Air Force will be taking questions, or is it going to be like a one-way street like the External Affairs Ministry?
No clarity on the contours of the press briefing as of now, but the fact that officers from military operations are going to be there, that's what I've been told by sources, suggests that there would be some kind of an interaction either on camera or off it. So we'll definitely have more of what has been happening in the last 2-3 days in time to come.
Okay, thanks very much, Abhishek. I'm going to go across to Gaurav Sawant as well. Gaurav, what are you making of this? You've been in touch with many people from the Air Force and the Army. What's the sense you're getting about this press conference?
So one, they're jubilant about military operations in the past 3-4 days. Why? They've had superb success, Shiv, as you know well. both in the first strike, which went deep inside Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. That's a brilliant operation for the Indian Air Force, striking, coming back. Apart from the political intent of the strike, look at it militarily. It was superbly executed, not just by the Mirages, but also the coordination between other forces. The army was fully prepared. The Air Force was fully prepared. There was an apprehension. Should something happen, there could have been an escalation, but they managed to control it completely. Brilliant operation, day one. Day two, again an outstanding operation where the Pakistanis tried to come in. They had military targets on their mind. They did succeed in dropping some kind of cargo, but not in the area that they intended to drop it. But Shiv, a MiG-21 engaged an F-16 and brought an F-16 down. That's again stuff that legends are made of, and this was actually spectacular. Yes, one of our pilots is in Pakistani custody, but then that happens. You know well that happens, and that is factored in. Subsequently, what's the next step to be taken? Even as you and I speak, Shiv, there are combat air patrols that are currently on because, as Abhishek was also pointing out, there was some talk of an airspace violation, but that won't be permitted. That's point one. And point two, there have been 2 ceasefire violations even today on the 28th of February, around between 1200 hours and 1300 hours. There was a ceasefire violation by Pakistan that was responded to and is still being responded to. Of course, that's on the other side of the Pir Panjal ranges. We're on the north of Pir Panjal in Uri. That's been happening in the Krishna Ghati sector, in the Poonch Rajouri sector. That's being responded to. There was an attempt that was made by Pakistanis, to show some kind of belligerence. That has been responded to. Some of that, I'm not sure how much of that will come out in public domain, but some of that with evidence, including the downing of an F-16, will come out with evidence, Shiv.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.